Picture quality on this week's park bench is still a little bit lower than normal.
It's still because I lost my camera under a space thing. There is still a link in this description about that.
But the story is still good, so...
Here we go.
Here we go.
Hi, I'm Matt.
And I'm Tom.
And this is the park bench.
I'm still in a suit. It's still weird. Let's move on.
And we asked for your suggestions on Twitter.
And Max came back with, what's the scariest thing you've ever done? It's a wide question, isn't it? Because scary can mean a whole lot of different things.
I think I know what I don't like, and I generally try to avoid what I don't like.
So, okay, yeah. So there's a couple of things. Like, scary can be the most nervous you've ever been. Because the most nervous I've ever been has been the couple of times I've been on a game show. Or something like that, where I know the world is watching and I have a significant tendency to screw this up.
When you're a contestant?
Yeah. Which I can't do anymore.
Because you're on this side now.
Yeah. But I got so nervous during a couple of those things, particularly Only Connect.
Oh, really? Right
at the start. I know how it feels that I start losing circulation in my fingers. And I start getting a little bit of tunnel vision. So it's the very first stage of passing out because my brain's putting all the blood into my brain to keep me going. It doesn't last long. It doesn't always go. But those first few minutes... So I don't know if that counts as scared or if that counts as nervous or if that just counts as overloading.
Yeah, okay.
Does scary mean the actual moment of it happening or the anticipation leading up to it? How about you?
I'm struggling to think of stuff, though I had never been on a roller coaster until a couple of years ago when I went to Disney with my brother. And from what I could tell, I wasn't going to like it. I prefer having control.
Yeah.
Or knowing what's about to happen. And we found one at Disney in the Magic Kingdom, I think, where you could see exactly what it does.
There aren't many coasters in the Magic Kingdom, so is that the Barnstormer? Is it the goofy one?
Yes, the one that is designed for 8-year-olds.
Yes! I wasn't going to say that, but you're not wrong.
So it was me, 6'4", over 100 kilos, my brother, 6'1", still quite stocky, and some children, and a few parents with the little babies on this thing. And I f***ing hated it. It wasn't going very fast. The G wasn't very much. I would have been fine if I was driving it.
Yes.
But I don't like not having an opt-out. And it only did like 1 or 2 circuits, and it was like not even a minute a lap.
Yeah.
But I was stuck on it till it was finished.
Yes. I am equally bad with I'm not bad with roller coasters. I'm fine with inversions. I'm fine with certain speed and accelerations and things like that. I am no good with free fall and drops. I can't take that moment where your stomach drops out like that. No, definitely do not like that. And it's not just a case of finding it unpleasant. It's like actively dislike that. So the few times, so you've noticed, like I've done zip lines, I've done all sorts of things.
I've never done a zip line because
no free fall. There's no free fall.
Okay.
You just accelerate forwards. There's nothing surprising about that. You're not pulling many G's at all. It's lovely.
Mm-hmm.
I can do that. So this is Disneyland as well. Disney World, one of the two. They have Pirates of the Caribbean.
So
yes.
Nice. I went on that. I didn't mind that, actually.
Yeah, it's a nice little log flume. Yeah. It's got a bit of a drop in it, hasn't it? It's not much of a drop.
Yeah.
It's got a bit of a drop. Don't like drops. And I realised that there's not much there and that it is almost entirely all in my head. And that if I could see it clear as day, I'd be like, oh, this is fine. But it is dark and it is noisy and it is set up so you can't see a thing. And the seconds leading up to that were bad.
Yes. Now, I have a similar thing with the whole feeling of falling thing. But now I think of it, if you drive over a humpy bridge in a car at a reasonable speed on a country road...
don't like that.
You get the whole woo.
Don't like that.
I don't like that in the passenger seat. If I'm driving, I have no problems with it.
Okay,
I have a brake pedal.
Yes, okay.
Which one? Thinking about it, that won't stop the thing because I'm already in the air and bloody blah. Yeah. But I have the choice of control. I'm the one that's choosing to make me do
I'd be able to go on loads and loads of roller coasters and things if I had an emergency stop button.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that wouldn't inconvenience a load of other people by...
Or if I could do it slower first at my own speed,
Yes.
and then I would do it at the full speed. Then I would know what was going to happen.
This is why I like that. There is a ride at Epcot called the Sum of All Thrills, which is a Robo Coaster.
Oh, God, that looks so terrifying, no.
No, it's lovely, because you sat on the end of a robot arm, and I've done that before, it's not too bad, but you literally design exactly what it's going to do. The bit before you go and you say, right, what do you want to do? Do you just want to bounce up and down a bit? Or do you want to do an inversion? And it's brilliant because you can literally go in and say exactly what you want it to do. And yes, you bolt it in for the 90 seconds, but you know what it's going to do.
See, I would be fine with that if I had live control of the joystick while I was in it.
Oh, yeah.
I would happily turn myself upside down if I had live control of the joystick, because at the moment I didn't like it, I could right myself.
Yeah, that's fair.
If I've already committed to it beforehand, I have no control.
I have an answer to the question of what the scariest thing is.
Oh, okay.
You know I went skydiving once, right?
No.
I went skydiving once.
Why did you do that? You hate falling.
Oh, this is going to be a story. Right. When I was I found out I didn't like falling the first time as a kid when I went on a log flume.
Right.
And I was a very young kid at the time. And I discovered after the second drop on the log flume that I did not like drops on log flumes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was a 3-drop log flume, and the third one was the biggest one. In fact, it was the biggest one in Europe at the time. And my dad essentially had to console an absolutely distraught,
loud bird.
An absolutely distraught, very young version of me. I think I was only I was like minimum height to get on this ride.
Yeah.
Strapped in, literally nothing I can do about it. I remember distinctly trying to work out if I could get the bar off me and just walk out and onto the steps, because walking down that height would have been better. I don't actually remember much beyond that. I presume that was one of the most scared, but that was when I was very young. I'd always avoided roller coasters since then.
Yeah.
So when the charity skydive comes up at York, I'm like, yeah, it's not going to be that bad. And it's static line. So we're not tandem, we're not attached to anyone. There's like 5 hours training, and then you get a chute on you, and your rip cord is on a long cord attached to the plane.
So the fact that you've fallen out of the plane means
We'll
it's
pull
pulled
your rip cord.
Yeah.
And all the 5 hours training is, if something goes wrong, this is the sequence of things you do. I can still remember it because we drilled it literally hundreds of times to fire your reserve. And I went up, and the scariest bit is, for that first one, was when they open the door of the plane in midair. Shutter goes up, you realise there is nothing between you and the ground but the flat sheet of metal you're sitting on.
Yeah.
And then the instructor looks at me, and I'm first, I'm the new guy. I thought the camera had turned off there. I'm the new guy, so I'm in the front of the plane, I'm the first one out. And he says, I don't know if he was lying, but he says, if you don't leave, no one else can. It's probably a lie, but he's like, right, green light, in the door. I'm sat in the door of the plane, 2 legs dangling out, 70, 80 miles an hour wind going by, holding on like this. And I remember him saying, look up, I'll look up. And I remember him saying, go. And then I have literally no memory of the next 5 seconds. I've seen the video. I'll put the video up. I think I've still got it somewhere of the next, because someone happened to be looking out. I'm going, grab a branch. Everything in my brain is bypassed. The next thing I know, the next moment I'm conscious, really, is that I'm under canopy. And there's a canopy above me. I went, pull down the straps. And there's a voice in my ear on the radio. It's like, Tom, if you can hear me, please turn 90 degrees to the right. This is brilliant, because I'm under canopy. And I'm flying through the air in this harness, and it's amazing. And I land, and it's one of the greatest experiences I've ever had. And they say it's 20 quid if you want to go up again today. Yes. Get back in the plane. Get back up, in the door. Yeah, this is brilliant. Go. And that time I remembered it. And it was extremely unpleasant, because it turns out I still don't like falling.
Yeah.
But I get to the bottom and I'm like, do you want to do it a third time? I'm like, yeah, you know what? That's okay. I can do this again. So I get in the plane. And that time I nearly didn't leave the plane. Because that time my brain knew what was about to happen and how unpleasant it was and just how much I disliked it. And at that point, what got me out was the fact that if I couldn't leave, other people wouldn't. The only reason I got out the plane was essentially peer pressure there and not wanting to be the guy who couldn't jump.
Right.
And then I realised that I was disliking it more with every jump because the third one was bloody awful.
Right.
Because that time I was nervous, so everything was clenching tight.
Yeah.
And it was horrible. That few seconds before is probably the scariest thing I've ever done. That's why I don't like skydiving. Hell of a way to find out you don't like skydiving.
Can you feel the falling while you're under canopy?
No, absolutely not.
That's what I've thought. 'Cause I would love to go. I hate free fall. I do not want to do any free fall, but I want to go skydiving. So what I want to do is basically paragliding.
Yes.
Where I can have a quick jump on air, and then higher, and then higher, then away.
If you decide to pull, so like when you turn, you lose height.
Yeah.
So you can feel, you know what's happening.
Yeah.
But you're in control.
Yeah.
And because there isn't anything around you to give you a sense of perspective, I suspect if you did that manoeuvre on the ground, you'd be like, oh, that's quite strong. In the air, you're fine, you're in control. The only really important thing you need to know is when you get near to the ground, you pull both toggles and you flare, so your vertical motion becomes horizontal.
Right.
And you do it at the right time, you essentially go, whoop, bump.
Or you can stall.
Well, yeah, do it at the wrong time, you drag along that side, or you break your legs.
Yeah.
But, yeah. And there's enough even if I'd completely freaked out and not pulled anything and my chute had failed, then there was an automatic activation device that would have fired my reserve if I was unconscious at 2,000 feet. So, yeah. What I've found out since is that charity skydives cost the NHS far more than they actually raise for charity. It's a lovely statistic. It doesn't really apply because the NHS budget doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
But if this were like medical treatment, US cost and everything like that, someone did the study, and yeah, you just give the money to charity instead. It's much easier.
That's the thing. Yeah.
So yeah, that's the scariest thing I've ever done. Now I come to think of it.
So what we've learned today is no free fall,
Yep.
always control, and I might like paragliding.
Yep. That'll do. Oh,
Hello, dog.
There's a dog there.
Bye-bye, dog.
Scrotum.
Anus. Hi, I'm Matt.
I'm sorry. I was too busy coming back with Grundle.